Hey everybody, welcome. My name is Kurt, aka the Vitruvian Gamer, and I'm here with a new unboxing, and this time it's an extensive unboxing. What does that mean? Well, I'm going to unbox the the veteran all-in pledge of Robinson Crusoe Collector's Edition, a GameFound campaign that has some things going on, and I just wanted to show you honestly what all the truth is about this one, because first of all, this one took 3 years to deliver to backers, which is quite a long time. It got delayed many times with some reasons, sometimes manufacturing problems, sometimes it was that they wanted to do extra proofreading and all that stuff because they wanted to deliver the perfect version of this game. It didn't go as planned, I think, but also I've read most of the comments on GameFound, which are a lot of comments, and I want to see if all of them were justified, because I also read quite a bit of things, people saying this and other people saying that. And I wanted to show you the truth about this, the good and the bad, folks. I'm going to be very honest. You know, I love this game, but you also know that I have some affiliation with Portal Games. It has been a while since I've done anything for or with them, but still I have a big, quite of a history with them. I consider many of them my friends as well. But I just want to give you an honest opinion about this. This pledge that I made. So I had the veteran all-in, which means everything except for the base game, because all the things that I don't have yet. Alright, so without further ado, let's check the game mat first, folks. So this is a huge play mat. My table, I'm sitting at the end of the table, and that makes my table not wide enough, but you can place it. But you need quite some space for this mat, but it has everything on it. It has room for the Book of Adventures, for the decks as well, for your, you will see that later, the mini of the camp if you want to use it. So for everything there's room on this pretty neat playmat. It is stitched so it can last for a long time. Only thing that is sad about this one, folks, and many people have mentioned it, especially since they said they were going to do so many proofreading and checkups to have everything correct. Sadly enough, this is missing an icon right over here in the corner. Here, this action should also have a worker icon, which is kind of weird, because you would think they have the files for the board, and you would think they would use that file and expand on it, and somehow apparently they started all over, I think. I'm not sure what happened here, but it's sad that this big thing here, which is pretty cool, has a mistake on it. So that's a little bit sad. It's not a deal breaker, but still. Okay, so anyway, that's the playmat. Let's go to the next one. So when I opened the box, and I will post a picture of it, many people in the States were complaining about bad packaging. Mine was okay. There was nothing bad about packaging, but I live in Belgium, in Europe, so mine might have been packed differently. And at the top there were a bunch of things lying around. It was not they weren't really set to be firmly fit in the box, but everything looked okay in the end. First of all, I got myself a bunch of these sleeves that they also have been selling at conventions lately, and these are I already opened one. These are pretty sturdy, so I'm really happy with the quality of the sleeves. This was an add-on. You didn't have to take these. I did, because I thought, hey, if I'm going to get the collector edition, why not sleeve everything in it? We'll see if I really do it. It's also a special size, the cards, if I'm mistaken, so if I wanted to sleeve them, I think it was best to get my sleeves over there. There was also So I used the cardboard that was inside the box to make everything fit nicely. There are other things here, so let's go and take these ones. These are some tokens which are pretty cool. I think this is this is the camp token, the tent, so that's pretty cool to have. And these are wound tokens. Now the thing is about the wound tokens, and you will see that later, is these are heart shaped, as you can see. These don't fit in the player boards. Now there has been some backlash about that. On the other hand, these ones are not meant to go on the player boards. These are, I think, to place on the companions. But still, I understand why people think this is a missed opportunity. Why not make the wound spots on the player board heart-shaped, so you could use these pretty neat ones on those player boards. But these are not made to be placed on the player board, so remember that. Then we have all the tokens here. These are some food tokens, the bread. I think there is some misunderstanding about the amount that you get in here. I've seen a lot of comments say, hey, I only got 5 of these, but that's the correct number. So apparently that's the correct number. So people were expecting 7 or 8, but it's 5 is the correct one. And this is also a cool camp token here, the fire. I think these were already, not sure if were these in the treasure chest. I don't know for sure. Then we have the bananas. Now these were not new for me. I already have these and the wood tokens, but I still like these quite a bit. They're pretty cool. All right, then we have some dice. These are the wooden dice that you can use. I might have wanted them to have a curved edge, because these are, as you can see, completely square, no curved edge, but it looks like they roll pretty well on the board, so it looks like they do their function. They're nice wooden ones. The print is okay. It's maybe a little dark, although you can still see it quite well. You can see the colors pretty well: green, brown, and gray, and then the weather dye as well. And then here we have the animal dye. So that's pretty cool. We have some more spy glasses. This one makes me laugh, because when I was doing demos here in Belgium for Portal Games, we had so many of these in stock that, well, I still have quite a bunch of them here at home. So I can destroy many of them to get 5 determination tokens. But you get some of these, and it looks like it has a QR code to see what the rules are, I guess. So that's nice. Oh, and I didn't show you these ones. These are the fur ones. They're pretty cool. They look nice. And then we have some cardboards. I think this is a mini expansion here, that you can see here. It's called the Special Weapons Styles. So you can build special weapons with this one. So that's interesting. I haven't seen this one yet. It might have been part of the treasure chest, which I have, but honestly, I unboxed it, I think, once on this channel, but I must say I haven't played the game since this game was on GameFound, because I always kept thinking, hey, I wait until I have my collector's edition, and sadly enough, that took 3 years. So I'm looking forward to play this game again, finally. Oh, man. Now, the next thing is also something you could back separately, and that's the Book of Adventures, folks. So this is the GameFound edition. So this has this shiny stuff going on the cover. It looks pretty cool, as you can see. It's a thick book, a thick binder of scenarios. First of all, many people said, well, it's a lot of revised scenarios with more difficulties and all that stuff. So there are not that many new ones. But someone else did the calculation. It's about 40 new adventures, and then a bunch of ones that got new difficulties if you want to have a bigger challenge. So, and also the ones that were promo and all that stuff is all in here. So there's quite a big number of new things to discover. Another one thing that they said was that the paper quality wasn't that great. Now the paper quality is not, it's not cardboard, or it's not thick paper, but it is still thicker than your normal printing paper, I would say. But it is not super thick, but it's perfectly fine, in my honest opinion. Some people might have expected more of this. I don't know. Anyway, I'm happy with this. Some people said that the binder was not that great. You have to be a little bit careful, of course. It is paper still, and you could tear these things if you are a little bit too rough. But if you handle this book with care, everything should be perfectly fine. There was some problems, and I'm going to see if I can find the scenario that has the biggest example of this. There were some problems with color, with the readability of thing, and this one was the biggest example, and people were right. So if you can see like this one here, there's text here or symbols. There's an icon here, for example, here, and that's not really clear, and I'm still not sure which icon this is. The other ones on the page that you cannot see really well, you can, with some turning, you can check what it is. But yeah, this is not perfect. So again, one of those things that with all the delays and extra proofreading or checking the components and all that stuff, it's a little bit strange that it got through the checkups, which is a little bit sad. But most of it looks perfectly fine. Somewhere in there, a little bit of self-promotion. Somewhere in this book you will find my scenario that I made for this book here. I entered a contest. I'm trying to find it, but I'm not going to make this a whole long video. Oh, I think this is here. So if you find this one here, get the Tomb Raiders. This is mine. So please, if you play this, let me know what you thought of it. It has been developed, so it's not 100% the scenario that I designed. But I'm curious to see what it became, and of course I will be playing it as soon as I can. There we go. All right, let's close this. So this is the Book of Adventures. Looks pretty neat, and it has its own space on the map or the play mat. Okay, what else did we have? A bunch of cards here. These are the additional event cards in 3 themes. So we have, I don't remember this one. I think it's some kind of Cthulhu-ish thing, zombies and pirates. Now this was optional to get the cards, because if you back the game, you can also get these cards for free on the new app by Portal Games, where it's an event deck app that, well, you don't need to use the cards anymore, which is pretty neat. But I wanted the physical ones as well, because I wanted to have everything. But it's all new events that are themed. So if you want to have a more themed game with things that have some consistency, you can use these. If you didn't back the game, then you can still buy these packs on the app, and it's not that expensive to do so. I'm not going to check these cards or the card quality. That will be later in this unboxing. Bam, there we go. All right, next one we have this envelope, which is for the Mystery Tales promos. So they added those to the game, and I don't know what it all is. There's some tokens and some scenarios, I guess, that you can play. But it's cool to have these all gathered in this small map here. There's something hidden here, which I cannot get out at this moment, but that's also in this thing here. And then we have the Sailor and the Gamer. So these were also promo characters that you could get in the past, and now it has their own box. So, and here you can already see, so this is what we were talking about earlier with wound tokens. So these are still squares, and those hearts don't fit in here, but that's, as I said, that's not what it's meant to be. But it's cool to have now, to have these double layered player boards with, of course, a male and a female side for each character. And you can already get some spoilers about how the minis look like in this game. There we go. They look pretty well. Now I've got the Sundrop one, so these have this wash on it. You could also get them without the wash if you prefer that. They're absolutely not necessary to play with. Now, a big comment that I've read quite a few times on GameFound is that people think, well, they're completely useless, why were they in there? But first of all, I see myself playing with these. They still fit on the board without covering too much of the necessary details, as far as I know. Also, people that backed this on GameFound, this was something they knew about, right? This one was one of the selling points of the game, that there were miniatures in this version. And now people are saying, hey, but this is absolutely not necessary. Well, no, it isn't. It's something added to it for people that wanted them. You didn't have to buy these. It might sound a little bit rude or a little bit, but in this case, I'm not agreeing with most people that say, hey, why was that in the box? Because you didn't have to get them, right? So you knew that this was in there, and they look pretty nice. Will I play with them all the time? I'm not sure. I have to find that out when I play the game again, but I'm happy to have them, that's for sure. There's also this pack of cards. This also came with the Book of Adventures, by the way. I think you don't shuffle these in the other cards at the beginning if you want to play the introductionary scenario, and I think this also has some scenario specific cards that work with the Book of Adventures. So if you have this one, be sure not to immediately shuffle them into other decks. Alright, so that's what was on top of the box, in the big box that it got sent in. But then of course we have the game itself. This is the collector's edition box here. So if you want to compare, let's see if I can do it without ruining my camera and my mic. There we go. It's double the thickness, as you can see. It is a big box. It will take up some space. But let's see what's inside of this one, right? So first of all, let's open it. Oh, let's see. There we go. There we go, folks. So first thing that we see is the Introductionary Campaign. So there is this campaign designed by Joanna Kijanka that has this introduction to the game. So this gets you through short games, I think, short scenarios, in order to learn every small rule of it. Now, I have heard some, well, not complaints, but some thoughts about some things, but you have to read, I think you have to read very carefully what you already have to take in account when reading events and all that stuff. I think, for example, in the first one, maybe you don't, but every event card has a book symbol or a question mark. In the first scenario, you were going to ignore these, and some people, I think, might not have ignored them. But this is a cool idea. I was making one of my own in the past. It was not completely ready yet. It was pretty far ahead though, and then they announced this, so I stopped designing it. But this is a pretty cool idea, and just try it out. I will. And these ones, they need cards. I think they use cards that were in this package. So you probably, before you shuffle everything in, you just use a small part of it. But it's a nice thick book. It's 27 pages. So that's pretty impressive. Some important rules on the back. So that's a pretty neat add-on to it. Then we have this paper here, which tells you about all the GameFound exclusive content. So it has a bunch of things that you will find in the box here. And I would suggest that you read these first, so you know what is what and what is to be used when, a little bit. So be sure, because, well, some people just dive in, and I understand, but be careful that you don't miss anything. So there we go. And then we come to the first punch board. This one has some weather tiles here, some of the mini expansion with the caves, which I think is a neat idea, that you have a tile now with a cave and you can find one or more of these tokens there. So I really like that idea. It's a mini expansion. Also the weather tiles are also a mini expansion, I think. But that's pretty cool. I really like that. Let's also check the cardboard. There has been some complaints about the cardboard quality. It is, let's see, don't think it has the quality that the original game has, I must admit. I'm looking forward to see the island tiles, but if I see this, if I feel this in the first feel that I got is it doesn't feel as thick or sturdy as the base game's cardboard. So I'm going to check further in this game. Now we come to the next controversial item of this box here, and that's the Volcano Dice Tower. Now people say this is completely useless, and once you set it, well, if you place it together, you put it together the first time, it's already, well, it is not sturdy. I think, so I cannot do it immediately here. I would have to read the instructions, although there might not be instructions, because I think I've read somewhere that there are no instructions to make this thing happen. I can imagine, and I'm not going to do this too hard, but I can imagine, yeah, these are not that sturdy, folks. So if you're going to assemble this, be super careful with these edges that need to fit together, because I am not sure how much pressure they can handle. Now, although it is a stretch goal and you don't need it, there is space for it in the box, but I might not use this. I might just display it somewhere and keep it out of the box to make some more room for other things. Then we have the introduction scenario book, which is more about the introduction, but then so you're not going to use the map or the board, you're going to use this one here, and that's pretty cool. You have the explanation and you have a small part that you use for the game, so you don't even need to use the player map, the game map. That's pretty cool. I like that idea. So there we go. I'm not going to show you too much, but it looks pretty neat. It's nice. Oh, look, I like this one. There we go. And then, of course, we come to the big part of the game. So more miniatures, folks. The miniatures that nobody needed. And let's start by talking about the elephant in the room, or more, let's talk about the monkey in the room. So here we have the monkey companion. This fellow has been mentioned so much on the campaign in the comments. So this one was a last minute post campaign add-on that you could get. And I think many people didn't realize this was an add-on. I think many people either thought it was an add-on and didn't buy it, and many people thought it wasn't an add-on, but it was part of what they called all-in. But it wasn't. So many people got their game with this insert and have an empty space here. So they made an add-on, they made room for it on the insert, but many people don't have this miniature, and I can understand that they are complaining about it. Now they're going to sell leftovers, whatever they have left in stock, they're going to sell on their website. I'm not sure if that's the correct way to deal with it, instead of trying to get it to backers that want it first, because you will have to buy it and you have to ship it again, so it's not perfect. I've seen already someone posting a 3D printing link online that you can print a monkey that is not the same, but that does fit in this slot here. So I think they dropped the ball a little bit. Of course, on the other hand, backers didn't always pay enough attention, but then again, it was an afterthought, and you would guess it would come in a separate packaging and you would have to place it somewhere where there's room. But that they made a spot for it in the insert, some people thought it was a little bit crazy, and now they have an empty spot in their insert, and I would also not like to have that. So I can understand. We have some bases here. These are made, so they're not they're not player color coded. They are just made to place at the bottom of the miniature that is leading the action. As you know, you can send one or more workers to an action, but when you use the discs, the one on top is the one that gets all the troubles over their head if things go wrong. So you do that with these markers here to place your standees, or well, your miniatures in. Then you have the camp as well. It starts with a basic thing, and you can assemble it. I should read the instructions how to assemble it, but there were also, I can imagine that this is a fiddly way to do so. I figured that much when I backed this one, so I wasn't sure if I would ever use this. It does look pretty cool, but I'm checking one thing. I've read that somewhere. I'm trying to see it. There is, and I think it might be this one. If you would remove this roof, then you would see the earlier version or the earlier concept of this roof, which some people like more, and I've seen someone already taking it apart. I would not even try it, but they look pretty cool. You have these also these tokens here. I'm not sure what these are for. This compass token. So the miniatures, folks, they look pretty cool with all the characters that we become to love. The female soldier here, for example, so they look pretty nice. This is Friday. Yeah, so that's let's see if we can get it into focus. Nope. There it is. There he is. Focus. Friday. All right. So that's the miniatures with the monkey that has given people a lot of reasons to complain, partially with reason. Okay, so what else do we have? Here underneath we have the insert and also the other player boards with the cook, the carpenter, the soldier, and of course the explorer. There we go. So again, the double layered, which is pretty cool. I really like these, and I'm happy to have these. Okay, so you will notice, I think they're not in here. So this is the insert. You probably have noticed I don't have any cubes or discs or whatever. That's because I have the veteran all in. I have to take them from my base game that I already own. So that's important to realize, that if you have the all in with everything, then you have more. Now let's try. Oh man, this is hard with all my recording stuff in front of me. Let's open this part here. Okay, so this is the insert. We have some trays here. Apparently not everything fits perfectly, although this is quite useful. I think this works fine. It has, I think somewhere here or here, it has space for the dice tower, the volcano, which I probably will not use. It has stickers for the animal companions. They go on these discs here. We have some purple discs, and then we have the shell here and the crab, and these are the new I think the new trackers for your motivation, or your motivation, your morale, and your round tracker. And people tend, I think you better use them in reversed order. So the one, I'm not sure what is, but this one is apparently better for the thing that this is used for, and vice versa. Anyway, the stickers to place on these tokens if you still want to use the tokens or the discs instead of the miniatures, so you get the option to do that. Then we have some cards here. I'm not sure what these are. As you can see, it has the backs, and some people were complaining about that as well. It has the backs of the old version, the Z-Man version, but why not? Because it's something different, so why not use a cool back? These are the cards for the companions, with the monkey as well, as you can see. So that's cool. Here you have Friday. Here you can use the hearts as that we saw earlier. These are pretty cool. Card quality. First feeling that I have, It's not the big difference with, or no difference with the ones that are in my base game or in my older game. We have some. This looks like some characteristics for your players. You have a handy one, you have hungry for success, you have gloomy, so these are bad ones. So I guess these also these are morale cards, looks like. I'm not sure what they do, but they add something. I guess that's a mini expansion. We have some more. I think these might be revised cards. Some rules have changed or some wording has changed. Now, I have seen proofs, because I'm not going to look for any specific cards here, that some cards have been adjusted because of people that in the past said that the wording or the rules were not clear, so they changed some cards, improved it, but apparently they also changed some cards that didn't need improvement, and they made some cards worse. I cannot prove it here on screen, but I've seen some pictures online. Also a card that they changed the title of, and it's a card that you need in a certain scenario, but it's different. It's named differently if you don't have the complete version of this new one. So for me, for example, I will have to look for another card with a different titled card that does the same as the new titled card, and that's a little bit of a hassle, of course. That's not great. But anyway, card quality, I'm not sure if it is worse than it was in the days or better. It's perfectly fine, I think. Let's see what else we have. We have, this is maybe an important one. This is a half one, the wreckage tile. Oh yeah, there's a problem with that one as well. It has a QR code. If you scan it, it goes to a dead page. I hope they will fix it, because it goes to a Board Game Geek page, I think. That should explain this. But it doesn't work. So there's some thread on Board Game Geek that other people started, where you can find out the rules about this one, so go check that out. And then last but not least are these cards. Also got some flag, and let's see if that's, so these are dividers for your different decks of cards. And yes, I understand what people were saying. This is very flimsy cardboard. To have these as dividers in a big collector's edition is kind of disappointing. It really is just very thin paper, and is not ideal. I understand the complaints about this. It's absolutely not the best quality to have dividers in, but probably if you take care of your components in your game, it should still do the job. I'm not sure, so I think my insert bended while I was trying to get it out, so be careful with your stuff, folks. But yeah, this is it. I will, one of these days, I will try to fit everything in the box, which is apparently also a big difficult task. You cannot fit the Book of Adventures inside this box. You cannot, if you want to get enough in this box, you might also want to keep your game board out of this if you're going to use the playmat, which is kind of sad. So the insert, there has been quite a bit of complaints about that as well. I've seen pictures, I've seen people trying to get as much inside of this one, and I understand why they are complaining. It is not perfect, which is also a little bit sad. I'm curious to see if I sleeve all my cards, if they fit in here completely. I don't know yet, so we'll find out soon. Also, if we have this part here, so here are the character boards, as you have seen, but it's not, they don't make room for the two that come in the stretch goals, or the one with the sailor and the gamer. They might fit on top of this, maybe, but it's not perfectly as I have read. So there are some problems with this version, folks, so be aware of that. I'm happy to have this. I'm going to say I probably play with the miniatures. I'm happy with the game mat for sure. I've got my physical components, physical cards here for the thematic decks. The Book of Adventures, I'm really excited about this. It does look cool. It is not thick as paper, but I think some people are a little bit exaggerating. I understand that they might expected something even better. I can imagine that and I can understand that, but it is not as bad as people are saying. The insert, yeah, that's going to be an issue, I think, which is sad. Of course, people think, and I was one of them, that we could fit everything we have inside of this box. I'm going to keep everything separated from my Mystery Tales box, so I'm going to keep those separate. I'm going to keep the base version in here with all the goodies inside of the box. I might leave out my volcano, and we'll see how far we will get. That, but all in all, I'm pretty okay with the result. I'm excited to finally have this one. I must admit, I was getting frustrated as well. I was annoyed by how long it took, and then when they said that that almost everything was being delivered and nothing happened here in my email, no notifications, I was starting to worry, starting to be a little bit angry as well even. But it arrived, it delivered, so that's the good part of it. They delivered. They didn't deliver a perfect product. They delivered a very decent product, I must say. I'm happy with this. I might not spend that amount of money on it if I wasn't a big Robinson Crusoe fan. It was expensive. It was probably too expensive for what you get. But in the end, I'm happy it's finally here in my hands, and that I can finally, one of the next days, hopefully, I can get back to playing my beloved Robinson Crusoe. So I hope you enjoyed this big unboxing. I tried to be as honest as possible. I'm super honest. So as I said, I have some affiliation with Portal Games, but as I was also annoyed by how the campaign went, about the communication, I was really annoyed, and I wanted to give my honest opinion about the final product that got delivered finally. So thank you for watching, folks. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you appreciated this, and hopefully I see you all in the future if I didn't die too much on the island. Thanks again, folks, and bye-bye.